Hello, everybody. Welcome back to ThriveWell Podcast. And today I've got a very special guest, a friend and an influencer, plus a cookbook author and an awesome mom and wife. Her name is Jen Fox, and we're going to get to how she went from where she was to where she is today. Jen, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're so glad
So
you're
excited
here.
to be here.
Okay, so I feel like people might need a little context, like how do we even know each other? What brought us to this moment? And I want everyone to know this is Jen's first podcast. I feel very special, so thank you
nice
for
to me.
sharing this moment. Yes. Jen and I have kids that hang out together, and they go to the same school now. They went to the same school before, and we kind of followed you to the current school we're at now. And we just really love you guys so much. We live close by. Yeah.
Yes.
And I have loved watching your journey. So I'm going to take people into where you are today so that we can then backtrack. So today you have authored a cookbook. It's called Recipes That Don't Suck, specifically for people who love eating but hate overcomplicating it. You are on Instagram and a complete sensation on there. You're hilarious. You're down to earth. You're sharing your recipes, your family. And of all the people that I study and watch and am influenced by on that platform, I would say you always bring so much joy to my heart when I watch you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really, really, really love it. So if you're not following Jen, we're also going to plug you 1,000 times. Please go follow her. It's what is it?
Raising Foxes.
Raising Foxes on Instagram.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so you just authored a cookbook. It just dropped, how many months ago?
Oh, gosh. Officially, the hard launch was this past Monday.
What?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. So
Okay.
I think you're getting the copy before anyone that even pre-ordered is getting their copy.
Look at how special that
Yes.
is. Thank
Yes.
you. I'm going to need you to sign this, by the way.
I will do that for you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's talk about, how did you get to the fact that you now have authored a cookbook? It's out there.
Yes. And I could honestly go on and on all day about this, so I'll try to sum up kind of how I got to this point. But what really kicked it off was, unfortunately, my family and I went through a hard season of mold toxicity. My kids were really, really sick, and we discovered that we had a mold issue in our house. Yeah. And that led us to, of course, needing to make some dietary changes in order to heal our bodies. Again, especially the kids. My son's gut was completely wrecked from the mold.
Well, how did you know, though? How did you know you were suffering from this?
They were so sick to the point that, there was a period of time where I wondered, because our doctor at the time was telling us, they go to daycare, and, at these ages, they were, I believe, 2 and 4 at the time.
Oh, babies.
They were babies, maybe even a tiny bit younger than that. But my gut was telling me something. This was more than the average, kids that go to daycare and constantly have the runny nose and are, getting sick a lot because they're exposed to it. It just felt like it was more than that. They were constantly sick with those types of things, but they were also experiencing other health issues that I just knew were not normal. Something was going on. And it wasn't until, our doctor at the time, again, was telling us, let's try this or let's try that. And I got to the point where I was tired of trying things and I wanted answers. And so we started seeing another doctor, and I explained to him, obviously, in our first appointment, all the things that were going on. And very quickly, he said, "It sounds like you have mold."
Oh, wow.
And I, of course, totally brushed it off. We had built our house a few years before that.
Yes, new construction.
And so, what I knew at the time was a new house can't have mold.
Sure.
There's no way. Well, I was so desperate for answers because the kids were so sick. And so we had someone come test the house, and sure enough, we had high levels of mold. And so then we spent a good 6 months essentially tearing the house apart looking for it. We didn't have a basement flood or a pipe burst or any visible water damage. And so it was very tricky for us to find the issue.
I can only imagine. So, I mean, what were you doing? Like sledgehammer to walls or?
I wanted to burn the house down.
Yeah, I bet
honestly.
you did. I mean, as a mom, I'm like, just leave it. We're leaving. Bye.
I spent as much time as I could out of the house. Yeah. I would, drag out the grocery store trips, you know? I just didn't even want to be in our house because we knew something was wrong and we just couldn't figure out what. So, yeah, it was really just starting to tear things apart, you know? At first, we just got rid of all of the porous materials that we could just to, help make a big difference at first, right? Like, we knew that, the couch, for example, wasn't the issue.
Yeah.
But all of those porous materials that were potentially hanging on to mold spores, again, the kids were so sick that I was just desperate to do anything.
Yes.
And so that was where we started, and we just started tearing things apart and eventually found the issue, and we had to then have the house remediated, and, that kind of kicked off our journey to healing our bodies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you figure out that you're essentially being poisoned in your own home. I can only imagine just mentally what that was like. Home is supposed to be safety, secure, your resting place.
Yes.
Just thinking about it makes my heart skip a beat. So now you are remediated. And now you're towards the healing portion. And you went holistic with this?
We did. Yeah, we did. So without doing any testing on our bodies, we knew that, because again, the kids were sick. My husband and I had symptoms as well, but it wasn't. The crazy thing about mold is that mold affects everyone so differently. Even for people that are living in the same house, that are exposed to the same mold, spend about the same amount of time at home. It totally impacts everyone so differently. Some people can be living in a mold-ridden house and have zero health issues, and some people can be living in a house that has a little bit of mold and be very, very, very sick from it. And so, we knew from the very beginning, as soon as we got those test results back, and I think even before that, because our doctor was like, you have mold. From everything you're telling me, you have
That's what it is.
And of course, he sees it a lot. It's one of his specialty areas, and he knows, and what I've obviously learned so much about mold and homes and water damage and everything since we've kind of started this whole journey. But, they say that 65% of buildings in America have some sort of water damage. And if there's water damage, there's typically mold, right? And so it's such a common issue, but it's an issue that most doctors don't even think about, know how to treat, know how to, it's just so it's just not talked about. It's not talked about enough, right?
Wow. So you find a new doctor. He essentially is like, hey, go look for this. You find it, you remediate it, and you decide now we've got to heal.
Yes.
And I'm sure under his directive and support, he's sharing with you ways in which you can do that. Is that where you decided, hey, what we put in our bodies, what we put on our bodies is going to count even more right now?
Yes.
And so what happens next?
So next, I'm realizing, with these new diet changes that our doctor has us. He has us on a specific protocol, right? A very anti-inflammatory diet. And I think too, it's important to note that when you have gut issues that you're dealing with, you can heal your gut fairly quickly if you eat the right things, right? And so when our doctor said, these are all the things that you can't have, and these are all the things that you can have, I kind of panicked because the list of things that you can't have when you truly are trying to give your gut a break and heal is very extensive.
I can only imagine.
It's very extensive.
It's not just gluten and dairy.
It's not just gluten and dairy.
So everybody,
not. I would
it's
say
not
those
just
are the
gluten
two,
and dairy.
Those are the two big ones, and those
Yeah.
I think are the hardest ones for people to accept
Totally.
and to cut out because it's in so much of what we eat.
So much.
But the good news was that, he told us, give this 30 to 60 days. Like 30 to 60 days of like going hardcore with this is going to make such a difference. And it's not to say that in 60 days we're going to go back to eating the way we were before. And to be clear too, like we've always been, healthy-ish
health
eaters.
conscious. Sure.
But up until this point, this was the first time in my life where we gave up gluten, dairy, corn, soy, peanuts, limited, added sugars, right?
Yeah.
So we were eating fruit, but, no processed sugars. Beef was even a trigger for my son. So, we had to really get, it was
Creative.
like vegetables and beans and
Chicken.
rice and chicken. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like
Yeah.
a bodybuilder's
Yes.
menu.
Yes. Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
Okay. So you're now in this, I can imagine, and I'm sure everyone listening can too, this container of such limitation that as moms, that's difficult in itself, right? We're trying to come up with dinners and lunches and packing it to go to school and getting them to eat in the morning, and you're so limited on what you can feed them. Once you heal, where did that leave you? What did that have you now wanting to do? I mean, because you had a normal job, right? You're working in a normal, let's call it corporate America. You had a marketing job, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So how did that lead us into this? Jen Fox, the sensation online, turned now author of a cookbook.
Sure. So initially when I honestly don't really know what the moment was when I decided, you know what, I'm going to start using my personal social media channel, because I was doing social media, like you said, I was in corporate marketing. I was doing social media for a business. Prior to that, I was working at an agency, so I was doing social media for multiple businesses. So social media is what my entire career is based around. So social media was not new to me, social media marketing, digital marketing.
Yeah.
But for myself, it was. And for some reason, I just decided, I'm going to, start sharing our journey. I'm going to share, some of the things about how we've healed our bodies and start sharing some of the recipes, because I know that whether you're on a healing journey or not, moms, you just said it. Like we got a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
And we do want to feed our families healthy food, and that's overwhelming, right? Like it's really overwhelming, especially when you have, one kid wants to eat this and the other kid won't eat this and this, and you want to eat certain things. And so it's like sometimes you're like, nope, like we're just going to get takeout tonight because I don't even want to deal with all of that, right?
I'm opting out.
Yeah. So I decide I'm going to start sharing some of this stuff. And I shared a bit of our mold journey. I started sharing some meal preps, some meal prep reels on Instagram, kind of showing like some quick recipes that, only take me an hour on a Sunday afternoon. And this is kind of how I set us up for success for the week, so that we have some things to grab. Not that this is the food that's going to get us through the entire week, but it's going to help in those moments of like, we
opting
wake
out.
up late, right? Yes. We wake up late, or like just having my whole thing with like meal prep and setting myself and our family up for success is just having things ready to eat. It's not so much like, I think a lot of people when they think about meal prep, it's like the grilled chicken and the roasted sweet potatoes and the broccoli. And if that's your thing, like that's, hey, like if that works for you, that works for you, But I think you can get really tired of that really quickly. And it's like you open the fridge on day 3 and you're like, shit, I have to eat this again. Like this is what I have to eat again. So my whole thing and what I have found works better for us is having, like I said, things ready, dishes. So it's not a full-blown meal, right? It's chicken salads that the kids will eat with crackers. I can throw on top of a bed of lettuce for a salad. We can make sandwiches with. We can toast a piece of bread and put that chicken salad on top. We can make wraps. We can stuff it into peppers. There's a million different ways we can eat it throughout the week to keep it exciting, and no one's going to get tired of it. My kids might sometimes get tired of it, but for the most part, right? Like we're excited. So, muffins, having fruit and vegetables already cut up and washed, so it's just ready to grab and eat. It's just those types of things, doing those on a Sunday afternoon or even a Wednesday, night when we run out of those things. It just doesn't matter what day it is. It's just whatever day is going to work for you to kind of get some things together.
To prepare.
Yeah. Right? Is huge. And so I started sharing some of those things, and it just took off. Mm-hmm. It just took off. And I sit here and I'm like, wait, I'm driving here to do the podcast, like looking over at the cookbook on the seat. And I'm like, wait a second. I wrote a cookbook and she wants me to come on the podcast? Yes. Like, what?
I remember when this happened. And I think this is important for people to see, especially around the subject of it started with a problem you needed to solve desperately, a critical problem. You resolved it, and then it kicked off your desire to share that with the world. And I think a lot of people feel that way. If you've got something that worked for you and was monumental in your life, we want to naturally share it with others just in case it could be helpful.
Yeah.
And I think what I got to witness, because I personally know you, from the moment of like, you're a working mom, you've got 2 kids, you've got a husband, you're doing all the things that, our average family does. And then you decide to share a solution with the world, and your life pivots like 360 in a different direction.
Yes.
So you blow up on Instagram. Is that the platform you blew up on first?
At first I was like nervous to do Instagram. So I started with TikTok because it was like,
no one knows me over there.
No one knows me over here.
Yes.
Like, I don't have friends and family on TikTok.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to start over here. And it started, that kind of gave me, like, the motivation because it was getting some traction. And that gave me kind of the motivation to also, start sharing on Instagram. And I also was excited, too, like, once I started seeing, people are finding this helpful, I, of course, want to share with my friends and family, right? So it's like, it just gave me the oomph that I needed to then start doing that. So, of course, I totally like wiped my Instagram, what I had there, totally clean. I had like all family pictures and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, if I'm going to make this public, let's just kind of start with a fresh slate and started sharing there. And then, that I found growth more on Instagram. And I can chat a little bit about that if you want regarding the algorithm. But the algorithm on Instagram just allowed me, because I had this value offer, right? I have these recipes that I'm offering to my audience. The way that I have it set up with an automation tool, someone can comment for those recipes, and with all these comments, that triggers the algorithm to notice that people are enjoying this content, right? And so that, I think, is what caused the Instagram growth to be more significant than TikTok, because TikTok doesn't have that feature.
Okay.
Yet.
Got it. Yeah.
Hopefully that will come soon. But, so it's just Instagram is where I found
massive
faster growth. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. So, I think it's important that we notate at some point you go, I'm going to quit my job and do this. What was that moment for? Like, what happened? What allowed you to see this is time to take a leap of faith here?
Yeah. So I started having brands reach out to me. They wanted me to feature, their product or their service, and for payment, right? So it was like, oh, okay, like I can, make some money doing this as well. And the more that was happening and the more offers I was accepting, I was starting to realize, like, I can't do all of this, right? I can't be a mom and work a corporate job and do social media on the side, because I was starting to, be working when I didn't want to be working, when the kids were home. And in the time that I should be spending with my family and after the kids go to bed. And it's just like I was reaching a point where I was like, I have to choose. I thought when my Instagram started to kind of take off that this would be something I could keep doing both, right? I could keep doing corporate and I could keep doing social media kind of more on the side, but just the more that social media was picking up, I just realized I couldn't do both. And I had to. It was one of those situations where you realize like I'm half-assing both of these things. Like I'm starting to half-ass every area of my life because I have too much on my plate.
Yes.
And if I don't make a choice, I'm never going to be able to do any of these things well. And I want to do all of them well. So something's got to give.
Yeah.
Right?
So how did that go, that
Yep.
moment?
And I thought about it for probably longer than I should have. I mean, rightfully so. You know, leaving your corporate job is kind of scary,
Yes.
Especially in today's job market. It's like, and I also had so much freedom and flexibility with my corporate job. Like when I would have conversations with friends and family, they could not believe that I was even considering walking away from a well-paying job
Yeah.
I'm doing from home. You know, I can go, you know, to my kids' school events without being I had so much flexibility and freedom. What ultimately led me to make the decision, or the choice, I should say, of leaving corporate and pouring everything into my social media channels was the fact that I was making a difference for people. I did not have that rewarding, fulfilling feeling at my corporate job. Well, while I loved my coworkers, I did love my job. I loved the flexibility. I loved all of that. What was missing for me was the DMs that I get every day. You know, you're changing how my family eats. You're giving me back my time. My kids are eating broccoli again.
Yeah.
Like, or for the first time, you know, like I'm getting my kids to eat nutrients. And I just I'm so passionate about helping other moms and women kind of take control of the health of their family, whether it is a healing journey or finding ways to eat better, but also get your time back.
Yeah.
Like you can eat well and take care of yourself and your family and still have time to do the things you want to do and the things you love. It's just about finding those recipes that don't suck. You got to find the recipes that don't suck.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
And I think if you watch, if you watch any of your reels and you show, that's one of the things that I really love about your platform is you showcase the joy that's coming with it. Like you're dancing with the kids in the kitchen. They're on camera with you every once in a while. When you're making the recipes, it is... it's quick. It looks quick. It looks easy. So it does inspire you to go, all right, well, I could try it. I could do it. So I love that. Okay, so let's talk about, in honor of ThriveWell, you're thriving. You do it. You take the leap of faith. You're doing the Instagram thing. You're getting paid by brands to represent. You're still having flexibility with the family. I would imagine in that transition, in any new thing we do, we surge. And we find out things we didn't know when we weren't paying full attention. What were some of the things that you could share that you're like, hey, had I known that, maybe I would have made different choices or set myself up slightly different in the beginning? What did you find that created more challenge than you expected?
Oh, gosh. My first thought is I don't know that there has been yet, maybe because I come from the social media industry and marketing is my background, digital marketing is my background. I don't know necessarily that there were any big surprises, but I guess maybe there were certain things that were harder than I realized they would be. It wasn't like, oh, I didn't realize this would be this way. I just didn't realize it would be this hard, right?
Okay.
So I left corporate in January and we had a devastating family death in March.
I'm sorry.
And that was the first time that I realized, because I took a step back. I needed to take a step back. And that wasn't hard for me to decide to do, right? It was just kind of like, okay, this can wait.
Yes, yes.
This can wait. Like, we're going to take some time off and we're just going to chill and be together, and like just being together is the focus right now. But then I realized, the paycheck doesn't keep coming if you're not showing up.
Yeah.
And I knew that was the case. And I knew going into this, this career that was the case. But I didn't realize the way that it was going to make me feel when that started to happen.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe because I just didn't expect that I would be taking so much time off. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But the first week or two, it's like, okay, it's fine. And then things start getting really quiet, and, the engagement is like next to nothing, and everything starts to kind of fizzle out. And it's like, I wasn't ready to come back yet, but I felt like I almost needed to. And that was tough. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
So let's talk about that, because I think there are a lot of people that listen to this in my desire to debunk, glamorous success. Success requires a lot of feedback, a lot of challenge to overcome, a lot of depth in your soul searching and timetables and whatever else comes with it for people. So in those moments where you felt the obligation, because that is something I hear quite a bit from influencers, is this looming obligation at all times that is almost crushing in moments. How did you decide, like, I'm in charge of that? I'm not going to do things that are not aligned in the moments they're not aligned. How did you handle that?
I really just had to look myself in the mirror and remind myself that every single day, that like I'm making the best choices for my family. One of the reasons, again, while I had extreme flexibility with my last job, one of the reasons was to have even more flexibility, right? To be able to go super hard the months that my kids are in school and then pull back pretty significantly, not go dark, but pull back in the summer when my kids are off school, pull back and be, extra quiet around the holidays when my kids are home, and just all of those moments when I want to be there, like fully be there.
Yeah.
And that's still something, like, I would have to work on that every single day, because being in the social media industry, it's constant, right? The way that my brain works, I have 103 tabs open at all times, right? And I love to ideate. Like, if you want to come up with some ideas, let's do it. Like, I'm your girl. I am your girl, okay? My issue is I have too many ideas and things that I want to do, and then when it comes time to execute, I get so overwhelmed and I shut down completely. Yeah. I'm like, just shuts off. Yep. Like, nope.
You're like, close the tab, exit out, don't care.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And so a part of that, being obligated to come back, or just, on a day-to-day basis, feeling that obligation to keep up and post every day. And it's a lot. And it's something that I have to remind myself daily that I chose this for me and my family. And yes, I want to share content and make a difference. I have to find that balance and quiet those those voices in my head saying you need to be posting more, or like, what's really and this wasn't too much of a challenge for me, but it does still creep up sometimes. Like, if we go on a family vacation, sometimes I feel like I should be documenting this. Maybe family vacation is a bad example because I don't really feel it too much with a family vacation. But there are certain things that we do or places that I go, and I'm thinking like I should be capturing this and sharing this. This is content. Everything's content, right? But I don't really want to. Yeah. There's some things that I want to just keep to myself, and there's a lot of things that I just want to be there, and I don't want to be thinking about how to capture it and what I should be taking pictures of and videos of. And so, again, I know I keep saying this, but it's just reminding myself, coming back to that reminder of I don't have to keep up with anyone but myself. I can post when I want to, how often I want to.
I love that. I love that you shared, I reference it as like filters, right? Like I have this pull of I should be documenting. I have the pull I should be engaging right now. Because I think that's something that is important for people to hear is like, yes, of course, if your job is to be on your phone and on your computer and documenting content and putting it out there, engaging with a massive audience, I mean, thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people, your brain changes to create that neural pathway of focus.
Yeah.
And so when you're outside of that container, but everything is the container, that's where I get curious of how do you manage that and truly not allow it to eat you up. And I feel like I know you're so principled in your family time. You're so principled in your marriage and being present. And so if there's any, habits that you've done or things you've focused on to make that even more congruent for you, please share away.
Yeah. Well, the biggest one is I've just learned to say no.
Yeah.
I've learned to say no. I'm such a people pleaser, but I'm so proud of myself for how well I have learned to say no.
That was the first thing I remember when you were over in the summer, and I was like, Jen, talk to me about how you turn it off, girl, because I know I wouldn't consider myself in the social media industry.
Yeah.
I know I do a ton of content, and I know the filter in which I'm looking through and documenting things, and that is a moment that could be helpful, significant, or within my brand that I could post.
Yeah.
So with that said, I remember during the summer and you were like, girl, brands are still reaching out, but I had to draw the line and say, don't even present it to me. Because if you do, I'm a driven person. I know what that could do for my family, but I don't want it to supersede the time, the time piece of what time can do with my family more than more money or more opportunity. And I just thought that was awesome. And so is that just the application that you apply is like, hey, the people that are bringing opportunity to me, I have a firm line. Like, I'm at capacity. Don't bring me anything else.
Yes, 100%. And it's more so like, don't bring it to me. Just be aware that my time, like I protect my timeline, right? Like so many brands, and I won't put any on blast. Yeah. I could, but I won't. So many brands, they come to you and say, we want to do this project. We want to do this campaign. We're going to send you the product. Can you get us the video next week? And it's like, I understand you want it yesterday, right? But especially if it's like a product that I've never used before.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not, because trust is really important to me with my audience, and I'm not going to start selling you something that I just got in the mail yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
And I love that.
Yeah.
That's integrity.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is something that a lot of people maintain control over.
It's not. And I think it's a huge issue within the influencer and content creator space. And I'm noticing it even more. I pay attention, when I do share a product that I love, a product that I'm using or even have been using for a year, right? I will still get hundreds of DMs. Do you really like this? I want to know, do you really like this product? Are you actually using it before I buy it?
The trust is broken.
It's broken because too many people are selling things just for the money and they either haven't used it, they don't use it, they don't really love it, but it's going to provide a paycheck, and it's a huge issue.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, because I think it then forces exactly what you're talking about is we've broken trust in society completely. They can't believe what they see anymore.
Yes.
And it used to be, if I see it, I believe it.
Right.
And now that's gone.
Right.
So I do love, and I think that's important for anyone that follows you, that hears this, anyone that's thinking and following ThriveWell, that some influencers and some people in that space really do slow down and take the time to say, hey, I've got integrity behind this.
Yeah.
And I've been using it for 6 months just to make sure of it.
Right.
Because I know I think that. Yeah. I'm obsessed with skin and skincare, and I know you have some lines that you really, really love. And I watch all these other folks, and I'm like, but is that a facelift or is that the skincare?
Right.
Right? Like, is that Botox or is that the skincare?
Right.
Do I believe they'd even tell me the right answer if I reached out? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, these are strangers.
Right.
And so if you don't follow along long enough to have that rapport, how do you hold on and believe it?
Right.
Yeah. So I love that. And I think that's an important part of your brand.
Yeah.
A huge part. And I think that's why when I watch you, I think I have obviously bias. I know you personally, but even if I didn't, I would enjoy watching your brand and your opinions because of what you bring forward. It's very just, I feel like it's super centered in what I do know about you. And that just is validating. So anybody that doesn't know Jen Fox, she's a real deal. She's a real deal. Okay, let's get back to this cookbook.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing the journey
Yes.
to getting to this cookbook. I know you shared some things with me about this cookbook that I think would be really special for people to know because it's more than just I became an influencer and got the cookbook deal and boom, here it is. You have a lot of love and work that went into this.
I do.
These photos we're looking at that are so vibrant and beautiful and just spilling off the pages, you took yourself?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yep, with my phone.
Incredible.
Yes.
And I mean, they're beautiful. You've got different elements of focus and vibrancy and positioning. And I think that's something important, again, when you follow somebody online and you start to like them, that you know they're still involved.
Totally.
Like
I have a picture that my mom took. So I took all of these photos. I made all of the recipes that are in the book one last time to take the photos all in December of last year, which
I can't even imagine.
I kind of like my stomach starts to hurt when I think about it because it was such a wild month. But
you did it.
I did it. But I have a photo of me taking a picture of one of the recipes. I don't even remember which one it was, but I'm in my bathrobe, okay? Which, like, if you know me, if you're like a close friend or family, like, I'm always in my bathrobe, you know, and maybe I need to show a little bit more of that on Instagram, right? We show the highlights. We're very hesitant to like come on without, you know, our hair and makeup done and in real clothes. But if I'm at home and I don't have anywhere to go, like it's a toxic trait of mine to stay in my pajamas and my robe. Truly it is. But most of these photos, you know, I'm in my robe for some of them when I'm taking the yes. And
so
I should have put that
food,
picture in there.
You know, she's standing there in her robe taking the picture.
Yes.
Hair in a bun probably.
Totally.
Yeah. Maybe retainers are in. We don't know.
Yep.
Okay, well, beautiful. I think that's an important piece. And the other thing I noticed right away, when you started back in the day when you were like Canva sharing your recipes.
I still am doing that. I still am doing that.
I remember your first bit at that, and I was like, oh, that's creative. I love that. Cool. They're so easy, even just to glance. You know, you look at cookbooks and you're like, oh my God, I need a PhD in just the measurements in this recipe.
Yes.
I feel like when you glance at these recipes, they're bite size, they're simple. I mean, you've got 6 steps. You've got, you know, are they all 6 steps, Jen? Yeah, like 5, 6.
Yeah. Some of them might be a little bit longer, but you know, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like we don't have time, right? Like some people might. I don't. Right.
We want to spend our time elsewhere.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's truly what it comes down to. Yeah. I don't want to spend all day in the kitchen.
Right.
I just don't.
You're like, ancestors, I love you, but not me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
I've tried sourdough bread.
Oh, God, girl,
not
me too.
for me.
I killed that thing so fast.
Me. Like,
I mourned it. I was like, what do? You throw it away?
Don't get me wrong. Like, I love, you know, middle winter, we got nowhere to be over the weekend. I'm going to make a chicken pot pie from scratch. I'm going to make the crust. I'm going to make, like, all of it, right? It's going to take me half the day.
Yes.
I can't do that for every meal.
Right.
I just cannot. And so that is what led me to write this book is you can still eat well and eat food that tastes good without spending a ton of time in the kitchen.
I love that.
Yes.
And they don't suck.
They do not suck.
Right? Like your stamp of approval is not only will it be fast and simple for you, it's going to be so yummy.
Yes.
And your kids love it. Your husband loves it. You love it. I know all of the recipes I've tried that you've shared, which has been, a good handful of them. I love them. So delicious.
Good.
So good.
Good.
Okay, so in honor of the ThriveWell podcast, we asked this one question. How would you share with the audience that you thrive well day in and day out in just a few sentences?
I would say that it's reminding myself of what's most important to me right now in this season that I'm in, right? Because that changes often. And so it's reminding myself what is important, following my gut, and just taking a leap of faith, right? And and taking chances and having fun, and those are all things that I still, I work on every single day, but it's getting back to what is most important to me and what is going to bring me joy.
Well, thank you for joining us here today. And I know after people hear this, they're going to want to follow you. They're going to want to purchase this cookbook. How can people get at you, Jen?
Yes. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you again so much for having me. This has been so much fun. So much fun. I am on Instagram and TikTok as Raising Foxes. The best way to find the book is to head to one of those channels and tap the little link in my bio on those pages, and you'll see right at the top where to purchase.
Perfect.
Yes.
And we'll link all of that out below. And fun little flavor here. We are at ThriveWell going to give away 5 of these cookbooks. So DM as you see this hit Instagram and YouTube. DM below your name, and you will be eligible to receive one of these books
Yay.
too. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you again, Jess.